Surprise, surprise. So China now is open to talks with the US. I've been saying non-stop on social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, X, that China will go into negotiations with the US. Lo and behold, a lot of the viewers have stated, no, it's never going to happen. China's a standalone entity. It's not going to go into negotiations. It's a superpower. It's number 2 globally. It doesn't need the US. What does it need the US for? What does it need the rest of the world for? China is a power. Wrong. China is desperate to do a deal, and China needs to do a deal with the US. Quite simple, because the US is the number 1 consumer environment. If you look at the individual GDP of a citizen of the US, then quite simple, it works out about $80,000 a year. Well, China doesn't have that, the UK doesn't have that, Europe doesn't have that, and Canada doesn't have that. So China needs the US. What's going to happen is quite simple. There is going to be an agreement, and markets are already anticipating an agreement, which I've stated clearly on social media posts, that markets will rise in anticipation of a deal and will rise post-deal. After those deals are done, then they'll go back to measuring the economy, whether it's unemployment, whether it's rising GDP, whether it's the Institute of Supply and Management PMI numbers. Whatever they're going to do, they're going to be assessing inflation, yields. Not only that, inflation is going to come down once a deal is done, because tariffs will then be tamed back. In addition to that, you're going to have lower interest rates. Jerome Powell in the US Central Bank Federal Reserve is going to reduce rates 4 times, not once, not twice, not 3, 4 times between now and the end of the year. Yields on US Treasuries are going to fall, and therefore there'll be an appetite to invest in higher risk assets. Bitcoin will go up significantly. You're also going to have equities going up significantly. Across the board, you're going to have a rise in financial markets. In fact, going into 2026, what you're likely to have is a massive all-time high bull market in equities, in the Dow, in the Nasdaq, and in the S&P. Look at gold. We've been pushing gold non-stop. Gold's come right off down to the lows of 32.05 yesterday, and I expect gold by 2027 to be around about 7K. Now, we're running a webinar on Sunday with 6 Wall Street panelists. If you want to get involved in that webinar on Sunday, the 4th of May, then quite simple, you need to DM the word webinar for a link. Catch you later.